Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hakwadash, giving double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Peace and salutations to the Hakim, the brethren out there on the highways and byways pushing this truth in 100% sincerity. And peace and salutations to the few and sincere sisters who believe in this gospel. So I want to entitle this lesson a lesson on slothfulness. And I want to bring out this lesson because it's important in this truth to refrain from being slothful, right? And actually, let me go here to the Edom Online and look up that word, right? Because this truth, doing this ministry is work, right? And we have to remain diligent in the work that we do. This is actually the most important work that we will ever do in this life on this side, right? Because this is the work that is going to give us salvation, right? So, like, here, let me. Lord willing that so like here, Lord willing that you all can hear me better. I meant to disconnect from this other Bluetooth shit or whatever, right? But we gotta refrain, or yeah, we gotta refrain from slothfulness because this work is the work that is going to ultimately bring salvation, and not by works alone, of course, right? But what I'm saying is we have to do something that is pleasing to the Lord. We have to do some things that are pleasing to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, right? We don't just get into the kingdom and just, you know, not have to do anything, right? We have things that we have to do. We have to put something in order to get that out, right? Now, of course, we have faith. Of course, we remain faithful in our belief towards Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah and what he is able to do for us. But that also comes with we still have to put something into it, right? It ain't just by faith alone, right? Because how do we show our faith? I did a lesson on this a couple of weeks ago. We show our faith by our works, right? And this is a part of our works. So this word slothful, and I'm going to read this second definition down here. Or actually, let me start up here. It says slothful, indolent, sluggish, characterized by sloth, from sloth, slowness, slothfully for the latter, right? Let's go down here. Sloth, the word sloth, which is, um, it's the first part of this word. It says indolence, sluggishness, neglect of responsibilities, right? I wonder what the word indolence means, right? But two of the words it says sluggishness and neglect of responsibilities, right? We have a responsibility in this truth. We have a responsibility towards Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah to preach the word and preach his gospel. That is a part of our responsibility. That is something that we all, as brothers, as teachers, as men of the Lord, as prophets, that is something that we all have to do. This is something that we must do. This is not it's not an option, right? And those of us who may not be teachers or who may not be prophets but still believe, those brothers help out in different ways as well. So they're still putting in work, right? But that's what this ministry is. This ministry is work. Going out there on the highways and byways, um, doing your video lessons, exhorting brothers, being there for brothers when brothers are going through things, right? It all takes work. You have brothers who are leaders of the camps, heads of camps. They have to make sure that order is established, right? They have to have, they got to know how the flock is doing. They got to keep up with the state of their flock, the state of the brotherhood, the state of the camp that they're heads of, right? That takes work, that takes responsibility, right? So these things that, um, these things that we do as far as the ministry is concerned, it's all about being work. It's all about doing work, right? Well, not all about doing work, but a major part of it is doing work. Salakia. And we can't afford to be lazy. We can't afford to be slothful, right? And I myself can be guilty of this sometimes. And this is something that I'm working on myself. I gotta be more diligent, instead of, even because whenever I plan on doing a video, or what I realize, whenever I plan on doing a video, those are the times where I'm most tired. Those are the times where I'm most irritated. Those are the times where I'm feeling down or feeling shitty or whatever it may be, right? And what I'm realizing now as I'm growing in this truth, because I'm still a very, very young brother, I'm still a babe in this truth, right? What I'm learning is that, as brothers say, hey, just press the button. Actually, that's what I did just now, because I'm irritated as fuck right now for from a couple particular situations, right? And so you know what? I got a little time on my hands. So, I'm just gonna press the button, right? Press the button. We're gonna make this work, right? We're gonna do what we're supposed to do, which is doing a video. So let's go to the scriptures, right? It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 9. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep, so shall thy poverty come as one that traveleth, and thy want as an armed man, right? So if you, for example, right, you can't be lazy, you want to sleep all day, you're not doing nothing, you're not being productive, you don't have a job, you know what I'm saying? You can't do those things and expect to be rich, right? Speaking in a physical worldly sense. You can't lay around and lay in the bed all day, but then you expect to be a high six-figure earner. Things just don't work like that. You have to be doing something. You have to be putting some type of work into something in order to get something out, right? And it's the same way with this ministry. We have to be doing some type of work. We have to be putting in work in order to get out what we desire, right? We got to put that work in as far as doing the work, going out there on the highways and byways, doing these videos, right? And we have to also have faith if we believe that we're gonna receive salvation. If we believe that the hardships that we go through, the things that we have to endure and experience here in this kingdom, in order for those things to, kind of get better, we want the Lord to deliver us from certain things. We want the Lord to give us relief from certain things. Well, we got to give Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah something. We got to give the Lord something, right? And the Lord has called us to do this work, to preach His word, to preach His gospel, to teach, and to do it, and to be diligent, right? We're commanded to be diligent in this truth. This is Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 4, and it says, the soul of the sluggard desireth and hath nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made fat, right? You can't expect to be set, you know, and set meaning uh you got money, you got your bills paid and things like that. You can't expect to have those things taken care of and all you want to do is sleep all day. All you want to do is, just sit, chill out, eat chicken wings, watch TV, play video games. It's nothing wrong with doing those things in moderation, but we also have to take care of responsibilities first, right? You want to pay your bills, you got to have a job. You know what I'm saying? You want to pay your rent, you got to have a job, or you have to be making some kind of money. You have to be making enough income to be able to pay for those expenses if those are the things that you want, right? But if you don't want those things and you just want to chill all day, well, you know, your life is probably not going to be. Your life is probably going to be. You're probably going to have even more of a hell, Salakia, more of a hell-filled life than you would if you weren't doing certain things, right? So we can't expect to receive something from the Heavenly Father. We can't expect to receive things, blessings from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, if we're not doing the work that He commanded us to do. If all we're worried about is what we want to do and not what we can do for the Lord, right? We have to prioritize, make priority number one the things that we can do for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right? This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 11, and verse 4. It says, he that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the clouds shall not reap, right? So you just, staring out into the wind, you just looking at shit, not doing nothing, you just being whatever, right? If you're not being productive, if you're not doing nothing, if you're not making anything happen, if you just so-called you just chilling and all that nonsense, right? It says you're not going to reap anything. Take a farmer for example. If a farmer doesn't plant seeds, he's not going to get any crops. You can't be a farmer and you just look at the ground, look at the dirt, and be like, all right, in 6 months, I'm gonna have a 10 fields full of crops, and I'm gonna have a great harvest. You're gonna be highly disappointed 6 months down the line when you still ain't seeing nothing but dirt and weeds. As a matter of fact, you know what I'm saying? So you got to continue to be diligent, even in this truth. We can't expect to reap the benefits of salvation or the benefits of what of being the first fruits in the kingdom if we're not sowing these seeds of righteousness, if we're not sowing these seeds of diligence, if we're not sowing these seeds of faith through the work that we do, right? This is Hebrews chapter 6 and verse 12, and it reads, let me start at verse 9. It says, but, beloved, we are persuaded better things of you and things that accompany salvation, though we thus speak. For Yahweh is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have showed toward his name. So like in that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister. And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end, that ye be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises, right? So the Lord is going to reward us for our work. The Lord is going to reward us for the things that we put in to his ministry, that we put in to what he has asked us to do. The Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, is going to reward us for these things. So we got to remain diligent, right? Fuck how you feel. Fuck whatever day you having. You can't go to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and say, Lord, I had a lot of bad days. I had a lot of bad days, and I just wasn't motivated to do it. You know what I'm saying? The Lord ain't gonna have that. The Lord ain't gonna take that as an answer, because the Lord told you you're gonna have a lot of bad days. But I still need you to do this work. I still need you to make this stuff happen. I still need you to put work into the ministry. Right? So as servants of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, we have to be diligent in our service and continue to serve and do what the Lord has asked us to do. The book of Matthew, chapter 25, and verse 6. Let me start up here. This is talking about the man who received a talent, right? And you know what? We can start up at 14. It says, "For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. And likewise he that had received 2, he also gained other 2. But he that had received 1 went and digged in the earth, and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord, right? So if we continue in this ministry and put in the work through our faith, right, the Lord is going to reward us. It says, the Lord is going to make us ruler over many, because we don't have much in this kingdom here today. We don't have much on this side, right? But in the kingdom, if we take what we have and put it forth towards the work of the Lord, the work of his ministry, the Lord is going to make us what? The Lord is going to make us rulers over much, right? I believe in Mark, I believe it says, I will make thee ruler over 10 cities, 5 cities, 10 cities, right? So we have to show the Lord, we have to show Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, we can take what we have, though we may not have much. We can take what we have and we can do great with it. We can do what the Lord has asked of us to do, right? Verse 22, it says, He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Then he which had received 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine. His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received mine own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which hath 10 talents. For unto every one that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away, even that which he hath. Cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth, right? So the Lord will not be pleased with those who are slothful, who don't endure in this ministry, who don't endure in doing the work. You know, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah wants to see a return on his investment. He's invested giving us this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures, giving us the knowledge of who we are, and giving us back this truth. The Lord is going to expect a return on that, right? So we have to give that return through this ministry, through our faith, and through the works that we do, right? So, Lord willing, this was an edifying video lesson. Giving all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hakwadash. And until next time, shalom.